Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I feel so great with these sanctions that we impose on other people. They make me so morally superior and fulfilled. Um, they make my life be fulfilled. So, yeah, we are morally superior, but our lives economy wise is going like this. Let's see what's going on here. I posted a video, I think it was today, regarding Russia's economy, which JP Morgan expected to be tanking and actually is doing better, much better, and is much stronger than they expected with all our sanctions. But let's see how we're doing. So I have an article from USA Today from May 10th, 2022 by Elizabeth Buchwald, not the camp, and Medora Lee. And we have here, stocks are tanking, but investors are eyeing CPI report for some stock market relief. So the stock market is okay, but we're doing fine. The Russians have their sanctions right there. So hitting rock bottom usually isn't something people look forward to. No, it's not. But for investors hungry for relief from the latest market sell-off, rock bottom couldn't come soon enough. Oh, they're doing great, it seems. On Tuesday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, Nasdaq Composite, and S&P 500 touched new 52-week lows. That means low, not high. And that's our stock market. And then we have here the Dow has had 6 straight weeks of losses, and the S&P 500 and Nasdaq experienced five straight weeks of that. Oh, that's great. That's great. More sanctions. The market sell-off comes as the Federal Reserve is aggressively playing offense against the highest levels of inflation in 40 years. I wonder why. Oh, Russia. In doing so, the central bank, I mean, just check to see the central bank. I can't say it, it's YouTube. Raised the interest rates by 50 basis points, the highest, the biggest hike in more than 20 years. That came in addition to the Fed's 25 basic points hike in March, which was the first rate increase since 2018. Oh, 2018. Good times. All right, so that's the beginning, and then we're gonna go and see what's going on here. It says that Biden on inflation, Biden being the U.S. president, that guy who's walking like this, and he's lost. He's like, where am I going now? That guy, the leader of the free world. Yeah, all right. And he says Biden calls inflation his top domestic priority, blaming Republicans for lacking a plan. So blaming others, who's the in charge here? The Republicans or you? You have the House, you have the Senate, and you have the presidency. What do you want? What do you want? You have everything. Everything. And you blame the Republicans for not having a plan. Biden calls inflation his top domestic priority. When he sleeps or when he shuffles. Blaming Republicans for lacking a plan. You should have a plan. Your administration is in charge. Your administration should have a plan. Not those guys, which are the same as you. You're just a little bit, the party with a mustache, that's Republican and Democrats. There are identical twins, but one of them wears a mustache. That's Republican and that's the Democrats. There's a difference. The same parents are behind them with, all right. And then it says here that another thing, investment tips. As rates rise, inflation heats up, and stocks plunge. You can still put your cash to work. Yeah, you better invest on some properties and gold, I guess. So let's see what's next here. Right, because we know Biden says all that for these guys. And then we have here that inflation continues to be very bad, said Michael Ashton, managing principal of Enduring Investments. The price of everything is rising. No, the price to look is in the proportion of the consumption basket that is inflating rapidly. And that's where my focus will be. Yes, it is. You're going to spend more for staying alive than doing something else. Because why? Russia. All right. We got some other thing here. Bidding wars. Tenants scramble for apartments. Rents skyrocket as COVID deals vanished. So that's from USA Today Real Estate, and says bidding wars in New York City. Tenants scramble for apartments. Rents skyrocket as COVID deals vanish. So we're doing great over there too, right? New York City. Unbelievable. Well, there's no sign that it has peaked or really caught up with the eviction moratorium ended, or with the rise in home prices. Well, it's going to be a lot of the rents will going to skyrocket. Why? Is anybody building anything? And people are still making kids, right? So what are we going to do about it? Will the Fed continue to rise interest rates? Even if inflation slowed in April, slowed from what? From this to this? It's likely it likely won't be slow enough to veer the Fed from its aggressive rate hike cycle, economists say. Data released after the Fed's policy meeting last week showed unit labor costs surged 11.3% from a year ago in the first quarter, well above the overall pace of inflation and the fastest pace since 1982. Fighting inflation. Inflation is at a 40-year high. The Fed announced these aggressive moves to fight it. We got that 50 points. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see how we're gonna get out of this. But as I told you in the previous video regarding Russia, they're not as hit as us, seems like. Or if they are, then I guess they take it a little bit better than we do. How will a recession affect you? Also talk about recession. That's not good. Well, the recession. Talk about that recession. Yes, in any given year, the S&P 500 has averaged a maximum intra-yield pullback of 14%, according to Lerner's analyst. That's in line with the pullback the S&P 500 is currently experiencing for its high earlier this year. Should you buy stocks now? I'm not going to read you this for you because I don't want to give you their opinion on this. Who's to blame? And he says here that Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus caused inflation, critics say. That's a fact. But others argue it saved the economy. From what? From what? Anyway, this is it. We're doing just fine. As they said, stock market goes like this, and we put more sanctions on those guys who are not really doing like we do. So what's the purpose? Oh, you're going to sleep better tonight. That's good. That's good. And your children will be hungry. Not hungry, hungry. Like, nom, 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 nom. No food, Papa. All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. More sanctions. Yeah, we help everybody. We do the land lease right now and all that. And that's 40 billion. It's great. That's great. That's great. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.